So, we are going to be starting our brand new project today called Analogous Neighbors. So before we even talk about the project, let's talk about analogous colors. So right here, I have a color wheel. And you can see it has all of the primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. It has all of the secondary colors, which are green, violet, and orange. And it has a bunch of tertiary colors. So tertiary colors are made by mixing a primary color and a secondary color. So red and orange make the tertiary color red-orange. For today, we want to ignore any tertiary color. So if you see any of these colors that have two colors inside of their name, ignore them. So ignore red-orange, ignore yellow-orange, yellow-green, blue-green, blue-violet, red-violet. All of those, we're going to pretend they're not even on the color wheel today. Now, analogous colors are 3 or 4 colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. So an example of a couple analogous colors would be blue, violet, and red. Remember, we are ignoring those tertiary colors. So blue, violet, and red are analogous colors. Orange, yellow, and green are also analogous colors. But if we were to do orange, yellow, and blue, they would not be analogous colors because they aren't all 3 next to each other. We could turn orange, yellow, and blue into an analogous color scheme if we added in that green. So orange, yellow, green, and blue. Do not do more than 4 colors though. Should be 3 or 4 colors. So let's move that off to the side. So we learned that analogous colors are neighbors on the color wheel. So we're going to draw a street with 3 or 4 houses on it. And each house is going to have its own color. And they are going to be analogous neighbors. So the very first thing you're going to do is draw your road in the very front. I'm going to just draw a straight line across. You could have a road that curves up and goes up into a hill, or you could have it turn off and maybe put a house right here. It's up to you. I'm going to add a little curb to mine too. And maybe then we can add a driveway. So I'll have one house here. Let me erase those lines. Another house here. And another house here. Remember, if you want to do 4 houses, you could do 4 houses. But we want at least 3 or 4. So now you're going to draw your houses. I want each house to be unique. That means that they are all different from each other. So one house could maybe be only 1 story tall. Maybe another house has 3. And maybe one has 2. That would be a way to make them all look different. So let's add a garage for that driveway to go into. And if you have a ruler or a straight edge at home, you could use those. If you wanted to draw your own neighborhood, like the one that you live in, you could do that too. They could be houses that you've seen before. Then I think I'm going to make it look like the rest of the house is kind of behind that garage. That way we can fit a lot more there. Maybe a little path that goes up to the door from the driveway. Make different shaped windows. So I just made a rectangle window. Now I'm making a half circle window. Be really creative. Make yours really different. Alright, so there's one of my houses. Now I'm gonna draw my next one. Maybe this one just has a really long driveway and it doesn't have a garage. Maybe it's just a driveway. You could add cars into your driveways too. That's another good way to make them look different. Then maybe this house is a little farther back, so I'm gonna make this one maybe a little bit smaller. Alright, I kind of liked the garage from the first one, so I think I'm going to do another garage here. I've seen some garages that have a bunch of windows at the top, so sometimes they have rooms up there on a second floor. And I can't quite fit a house right here, so maybe I'll put it to the left this time. Alright, and then you could add more details into the yard. So a lot of places have bushes in front of their house. Maybe what else could be in a backyard? Maybe you can see another street behind all of the houses, showing a different block of the neighborhood. A tree. Maybe you could have some people walking around or some animals. Think about different things that you want to add to yours. Once you have everything sketched out in pencil, you're going to want to take a permanent marker and go over all of your lines. If you do not have a permanent marker, just skip this step. Don't try using a washable marker because that's not going to work for what we are going to be doing today. So Sharpie or nothing. Alright, so now we have everything outlined in the Sharpie. Then you can erase any lines that didn't get covered by the Sharpie. Alright, and that is everything that you will need to do for this week. Next week we're going to be adding colors, so remember, what are analogous colors? And we'll pick our analogous colors next week. Bye!